Don't forget to donate to the hashtag Daytona Dream 2019 GoFundMe for your chance in January to win one of these 3 Kevin Harvick diecast. Now enjoy the video. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The playoffs begin as we get set for our 16th race, playoff race number 1 for Division 1 of the NNSCRA Skittles Super Speedway Series, as we are playing host here at the Blue Ridge Super Speedway. Austin LaPlante will line up on the pole position, and he becomes the first repeat pole sitter in Division 1. First time that a driver in Division 1 has sat on the pole more than once. And so LaPlante gets the moniker of that here in the first division. But coming into this race, it's a battle between 8 drivers here tonight. It's Brady Burkhart, Jessica Shelton, Ryan Butcher, 2-time winners. Then Trent Dunham, who won the regular season overall championship, Ashlyn Boyd, Sebastian Cucalon, Vance Caldwell, and J Millz. They will all battle it out for a chance to move on to the next round of the playoffs, and I love how I do it. Every single time I have these chase formats, I usually say, it's confirmed, these guys are locked into the playoffs. Well, I said after the checkered flag waved at Orlando, it's confirmed, R Rey is going to have the final transfer spot into the playoffs, and then I look after the point standings are configured and calculated, and J Millz managed to beat R Rey by 1 point in the standings, and so therefore Millz is in and Rey was out. And it wouldn't be an NNSCRA series if I didn't make a mistake on calling somebody in the playoffs when they really weren't. It seems like that seems to happen every single time with me. But nonetheless, these 8 drivers, their goal is simple. They want to not finish behind each other, because after tonight's race, the lowest chase driver of those 8 in the finishing results, they're automatically eliminated out of the title hunt. Each race, each one of our 4 playoff races are elimination races, as let's get that command.
Drivers, start your engines!
And what's the interesting thing about this playoff format is it doesn't matter the fact that Burkhart, Shelton, and Butcher all have 2 wins. There's really no bonus points or anything. It's just basically the grid. There's really no points that are going on in terms of, who moves on to the next round, who doesn't. It's whoever finishes dead last of those 8 here today, they will not move on to the next round. They will be eliminated. And I don't see any of our playoff contenders really starting up here towards the front, at least not in the top 5. We'll wait and see if, coming out of this corner, if anybody, well, I think the highest starter is Vance Caldwell, and he'll be starting from the 12th position. Sebastian Cucalon, he's rolling off from, I believe that's 15th place. Those are the only 2 visibly I was really able to see anywhere close to the vicinity of the front, but none of our playoff contenders starting up inside of the top 10. Of course, a lot of drivers up here towards the front still looking for their first win of the season. LaPlante, Bright, Friesen, Duncan, Mitchell, Taylor, they are all still trying to find victory lane, and they've got good starting track position here today. This track is 2 miles in length. It'll be 30 laps of racing. Who's going to move on? Who'll be the first driver eliminated here in the playoffs? All those questions will be answered in mere moments as LaPlante's Chevrolet, Bright's Dodge come down to the start-finish line. Green flag to the air. Let's roll in the playoffs. A lot of these drivers trying to forget the wreck fest of Orlando last week, as many of them did not finish out the event. J Zoerlein up the inside line, trying to lead the first lap. Tristan Folks, he's going to try and get it, cannot do it as they are 4 wide for the lead. Ooh, they got to settle this out. I don't know about them being able to handle 4 wide here. I've never actually had a race at Blue Ridge before, so I'm not sure. Oh my goodness. We got cars up and over. That's Duncan and Taylor. Big wreck out of turn 2. First caution of the day. As Zach Winkle up the inside line now, who almost contact there with Benjamin Miles. As Sebastian Cucalon now to the inside. That's one of your playoff drivers. And that wreck that just took place could very well be the wreck that tells us who's going to be the first driver eliminated out of the playoffs if any of our 8 were involved in that wreck. Zach Winkle leads under this first caution of the day. Cucalon there in second, so he's at this point safe to the next round. I think I saw back there the 76 of Ryan Butcher had gotten through, but I didn't see really anybody else in terms of our playoff drivers, so now comes the big question of who's going to be able to continue on and who's already DNF'd. Jake Rogers on pit road, Seth Cole, L Lemount, J Jefferson. So far, no playoff drivers. Taylor, Duncan, James Qualls. There's Roger Ray, Cody Smart, Riley Spurlytube, Jose Millz is okay. Oh, there's a couple playoff drivers right there. Brady Burkhart in the 00, Trent Dunham in the 1. Neither one of those drivers have retired out of the race. I think they're going to try and continue, which is smart. Contact there between Joshua Lee and Roger Ray on pit road. Someone just retired. Oh, it wasn't Trent or Brady, though. Brady's continuing. Trent's continuing. Trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Jose Millz, he's okay, as it looks right there. Ashlyn Boyd, Shelton, Butcher, Caldwell. So it looks like all 8 of our playoff contenders are at least going to still be able to continue. So that makes at least the battle still for who's going to transfer and who is not pretty good. But, man, that was a violent wreck off turn number 2 as Zach Winkle leads. Let's look back and see what happened. Yeah, they were 4 wide up at the front, and they were 4 wide back here as well. And I think the contact may start between Seth Cole and L Lemount, the 33 and the 36 in the middle line. I don't know if maybe Riley Spurlytube makes a little contact there. He does. Slides up and collects his teammate J Jefferson, and there you see Seth Cole up and over, William Duncan in the air, that's Zachary Taylor up and over back there, into Jake Rogers. Roger Ray nowhere to go as well. Joshua Lee got a piece of it. I think he ran to the back of Seth Cole. There's Jose Millz getting spun. He got spun off the noses of both Trent Dunham and Brady Burkhart, so we had at least 3 of our playoff contenders get involved in the wreck. But as we saw, Jose Millz didn't even have to come to pit road as he really didn't get any damage. Trent Dunham and Brady Burkhart, they both returned onto the track as well. Qual spins through the grass. There's another car involved I didn't know that was involved. Matt Haas in the 8. The whole right front wheel well ripped off his machine. I think Zachary Taylor's car came to rest on the rear decklet of L Lemount, actually. There's Cody Smart, Joshua Ciculli, Roger Ray. All damaged goods leaving the scene of the accident as we had at least 3 cars flipping over there. William Duncan, Seth Cole, and Zachary Taylor. But in terms of the playoff picture, looks like all 8 of our playoff contenders got through or got minimal damage. They all are continuing. So the battle is still on of who's going to be the first one eliminated. And for now, Zach Winkle leads us under caution. Let's go back for the restart. Well, I wasn't fully knowing what to expect in terms of racing here at Blue Ridge. It's the first time that I've ever commentated a race here at this super speedway, and we got a pretty good taste of it in those first few laps. 4 wide, several rows deep, violent wreck, taking out several drivers, and those drivers would include the following: Riley Spurlytube, Roger Ray, Seth Cole, William Duncan, J Jefferson, L Lemount, Zachary Taylor, Jake Rogers, and Matt Haas. They are all out of the event. 31 drivers still running and on the lead lap, and all 8 of our playoff drivers are still on the track and still running. Let's find out where they currently are going to be restarting. Cucalon will be the highest restarter in second place. He's the only one of our playoff contenders restarting in the top 10. You got to go a ways down before you find Vance Caldwell, Ryan Butcher, Jessica Shelton, and Ashlyn Boyd all lined up from 14th back through 17th place. And then it's Jose Millz in 25th. He did not come to pit road. A couple that did, Trent Dunham and Brady Burkhart, restart back in 28th and 29th. We'll keep tabs on them, see if they are up to speed still, as it's Zach Winkle, Cucalon, Miles, Zoerlein, Bryant, your top 5 for this restart. Tristan Folks, Jack Mitchell, Kyle Mathews, Carter Friesen, and Austin LaPlante complete your top 10. And of those drivers I just mentioned, Only one of them's been to victory lane this season. That's the 42 of Cucalon, as the green flag is back in the air on lap number 7 here at Blue Ridge. Cucalon stepping out of line, trying to get the position. Into turn 1, he's got help from fellow Chevrolet Jonathan Zoerlein, and he will easily clear for the position down the back straightaway. So now with this single file restart, maybe, just maybe, these drivers won't be as anxious to go 4 wide. That's the one problem with double file restarts at the beginning of races, especially at super speedways, because it's so spacious. Everybody thinks, okay, well, I can go a 3rd lane higher, I can go a 4th lane higher. That's usually when you run into trouble and have those early cautions. 3 wide here is okay. I mean, they were able to almost hold 4 wide, so if they were able to almost hold 4 wide, I'm pretty sure they can pretty much hold 3 wide here. Oh, and as soon as I say that, they're trying 4 wide. Carter Friesen forced in the issue. J Bryant up the track into Zoerlein. Z Winkle's trying to find a safe place to get to. Looks like he might be able to tuck in line right in front of Benjamin Miles, fortunately, as Sebastian Cucalon leads this race. Now we're going to drop towards the back because we know that Trent Dunham and Brady Burkhart both came to pit road. Well, we can't go to the back yet. They're 4 wide up at the front again. Oh, come on, give space, give space. Boy, it's hard with that camera angle there off of turn 2 to see if they are giving room, because it almost looks like they're into each other's left rear quarter panels. As now Vance Caldwell up the inside line. He wants to get ahead of the mayhem. Oh, look out! And there they go. Bryant spins, Friesen spins, and Mitchell is smoking. He's going to bounce off Diego Yepez right back up into traffic. Brady Burkhart got collected, along with James Qualls. And that's a playoff contender in the 00. Brady Burkhart, 2-time winner. And that could be the first playoff driver eliminated. Burkhart was the first driver to get multiple wins this season, and could now be the first driver that will be out of the hunt for the championship, as Mitchell smoking, Qualls took a ride through the grass, and Cucalon was ahead of all of that, as was Vance Caldwell. They're the top 2, and they're going to lead the field down to pit road for what could maybe be the only pit stop they'll have to make today now. I want to go back and take a look real quickly here at the rear of the field. I want to focus first on Trent Dunham, because I thought he got a slight piece of that wreck, but I'm not certain. Watching the blue number 1, and he's continuing. Now what about Brady Burkhart? Is Burkhart out? Burkhart is out, and I think that not only is Burkhart out of the race, but I think with that retiring, Brady Burkhart is now pretty much ensured the 7 drivers that are going to be moving on to playoff race number 2. As off pit road, it was Sebastian Cucalon, the race leader, going in first, coming out first. So now Cucalon's just looking to pick up his 2nd win of the season, as now I'm pretty certain that everybody else, with the exception of Brady Burkhart, is now locked into the next round of the playoffs, and we're now just basically determining who's going to be the race winner here today. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened. Just 4 wide again and not giving room. This time it was Jack Mitchell that kind of pushed up into J Bryant and Carter Friesen, and I thought maybe they might save it, and then right there when Friesen hits the wall, it spins both him and J Bryant around. Nobody else hit them, though, as they kept their cars up there to the wall. Now, here's what happened afterwards on the front straightaway. Jack Mitchell smoking. I think he was trying to get to pit road, but you had Diego Yepez, Philip Goldberg, and Johnny Gardner to the inside. And as he turns down to head to pit road, he bounces off the 69, back up the track, and nowhere to go for playoff contender Brady Burkhart. And there is James Qualls getting involved as well. Trent Dunham, he did get a little piece of that with the right front, but he didn't have nearly as extensive damage as Brady Burkhart did when he slammed into Jack Mitchell. And that is what sent the 00 out of the race, and consequentially, I'm pretty certain, out of the playoffs, as Qualls goes for a slide there across the start-finish line. And that's going to take out some more contenders here for the win, and it took out, I believe, our first contender for the championship. Let's go back for the restart, as we'll have less than 20 laps to go. 3 more drivers out of the race after the wreck we just saw, and it is official. With the early departure of Brady Burkhart DNFing in the 30th position, all other 7 drivers will finish ahead of him, and therefore they will move on to the next round of the playoffs. So Brady Burkhart, 2-time winner, the first driver to get multiple wins this season overall, whether it be in Division 1 or Division 2, is going to be the first driver that will make the departure from competing for this season's championship. What a tough break there. Had some contact from the first wreck. Spent an extended stay on pit road. That's what put him back there, and then could not avoid the spinning Jack Mitchell machine. Also out of the race are Mitchell and James Qualls, so 28 drivers still on the racetrack and still on the lead lap, as Cucalon, Bright, Roberts, Boyd, and Hamill are now your top 5. And we go back green with 17 laps to go. Eli Bright will move to the point. Eli Bright, the lone Dodge in Division 1, as there are 3 Dodges that'll be battling for the championship in tomorrow night's Division 2 race here at Blue Ridge. And now for all these guys, see Ashland Boyd and Sebastian Cucalon, Vance Caldwell all up here towards the front. Well, now they're basically just battling to try and win this race, because they know that even if they wreck out of the race, they will finish ahead of Brady Burkhart and they will move on to the next round of the playoffs. So they can be as aggressive as they want to now. Speaking of aggressive, right there, 4 wide, Tristan Folks, J.J. Roberts rubbing doors through turn 1. They settle it back out, though, as Eli Bright shows the way there in the 12. Now Joshua Ciculli side by side with Ashland Boyd for second. Right now your top 4, Dodge, Ford, Toyota, Chevy. So all 4 of the manufacturers here. Jessica Shelton coming off the heels of her second win last week at the regular season finale at Orlando. She's now coming up the inside line with Patrick Zych in the 0-4. Shelton trying to get her 3rd win of the season and back-to-back wins. Well, Andrew Miller looked really squirrely there in the middle, that 47. As now battle is on for the lead. Ciculli gets alongside of Eli Bright. Will he be able to clear him here off of turn number 4 as Shelton gets moved to the middle? Patrick Zych with a big run on the inside, help from Benjamin Miles. He might have thoughts about leading this lap. He'll get alongside of Ciculli, who tries to move up in front of Eli Bright and just barely does. He also just led that lap, as now Benjamin Miles will take it 3 wide into turn 1. Now Vance Caldwell down there on the bottom. Shane Lake in the 55. Shane Lake finished top 10 last week, damaging off the pace because he was one of 8 drivers in the Division 1 race to even finish that event. And now Ryan Butcher's going to go 4 wide on the inside line. He's got help from K Mathews. Oh, I don't like the look of this. Whenever we go 4 wide, bad things seem to happen. Oh, can they settle it to 3? I think they might. Oh, they're bouncing off each other there. That's Derek Hamill and Shane Lake with contact. They're still 4 wide, as now K Mathews goes for the spot. Now Derek Hamill to the inside. Oh, this is going to be tight off of 4. Man. Somehow they're making it work, though, but sometimes too much of a good thing can have drastic results. There's more contact between Lake and Caldwell. They're almost 5 wide into turn 1. Oh, contact! K Mathews sent up the track. He's going to brush the wall and somehow keeps it straight, and we are still green. That's tough for K Mathews. Wrong place, wrong time, but at least he's not going to be on the end of a tow hook. As he fades back, Vance Caldwell, I think, also starting to fade back a little bit. Back up to the front. Pole sitter Austin LaPlante trying to get the lead from Johnny Gardner. He's got J.J. Roberts. Oh, Shelton spins it and is around. Oh, I thought she was going to save it. Oh, and they're still wrecking. Oh, my goodness. More drivers up here. Caldwell, Mathews, Jose Millz, Preston Plourd, Benjamin Miles. Caution waves for the 3rd time here today at Blue Ridge. As racing back to the line, it's going to be J.J. Roberts who will lead him. Roberts in the FedEx Chevrolet leads us under our third caution of the day. And I kind of held off on calling caution because I thought Shelton might be able to get it righted, but then I think there was like a second bit of contact into turn one between her and Shane Lake, and that's what hooked her around, and obviously the caution came out then, and then we had a wreck further up that involved another 6 or 7 drivers. So as J.J. Roberts will lead us here under this third caution of the day, this will undoubtedly help drivers that are trying to make it to the finish without having to come to pit road. They'll be able to save here under this yellow flag, so they should be good to go on fuel now till the checkers. It's Roberts, Miller, Zoerlein, Fowlkes, LaPlante, Gardner, and Goldberg, the top 7, all hungry for their first win of the season. Then you got playoff contenders, Cucalon and Boyd in 8th and 9th, with Winkle currently in the 10th position. Let's go back and see what brought out third caution of the day here at Blue Ridge. Yeah, I'm not really sure about what happened here. Andrew Miller was given a lot of room to those guys in the middle line. And it just looks like, I don't know if Shelton's car pushed up or if she thought she was clear on the 55 or what. But you're going to notice right here that the contact's going to start as Shelton kind of moves up the racetrack going into turn 1 here. Crowds Shane Lake up into Z Winkle. Winkle gets clipped. Now I thought that right about here, it looked like the 0-2 was getting straightened out again. So I thought they may not throw the caution. And then right there you see that both the 0-2 and the 55 start going around. Oh, and then Vance Caldwell got a piece of that. Goes down to Preston Plourd, and that's what started the wreck further up. He clips J Millz. There's Eli Bright. Oh my goodness. Oh, the 6 took a hard hit straight into the outside retaining wall. Miles and Ciculli and K Mathews all caught up in this as well. That was a straight-on, head-on impact for J Millz, and I thought for a moment when I saw it in live action, I thought K Mathews was going to get completely clobbered by J Bryant or some other drivers that might have still been flying through the wreck. But fortunately, that was not the case. Benjamin Miles, his day is done. Same for J Millz. Vance Caldwell there, Shelton there, 3 playoff contenders, but the news that they know, of course, is that they're moving on to the next round due to the early departure of B Burkhart. So caution waves for the third time here today at Blue Ridge. Let's go back for the green, see how many laps are going to have left. We will be at less than 10 laps to go. So out of the race after that one, Vance Caldwell, Preston Plourd, Eli Bright, K Mathews, Benjamin Miles, and J Millz. So Vance Caldwell, very fortunate that there's already a playoff driver out of the race, or else he probably could have potentially been the first driver eliminated from the playoffs here in Division 1, as J.J. Roberts is going to be the leader, getting us back under green with 6 laps to go. We've run 24 laps so far, and we've been under the caution 3 times. This means we've had an average of 1 caution per 8 laps. So with only 6 laps to go, can we be green till the checkered flag? We're going to find out. Is the green flag back in the air? Andrew Miller now makes a move to the inside line. His teammate Seth Cole went to victory lane earlier on this season at Pigs Creek. So Andrew Miller trying to get another win for Backmarker Motorsports. Not going to be able to get the spot just yet, as Jonathan Zoerlein was very committed to the top side with J.J. Roberts. Now Miller's got Tristan Fowlkes with him, but I don't think Tristan Fowlkes is willing to work. I think he wants to take the top spot himself. And they're going to go 4 wide into turn 1, maybe? Gardner's got thoughts about it. And they are 4 wide, but it's going to be for second, as Roberts is going to clear for the top position, at least for the moment. Ooh, right there, that was close. Johnny Gardner crowding Tristan Fowlkes up the track, but he had Andrew Miller to his outside. Miller's got Zoerlein to his outside, and they almost wrecked, but what a save. Fowlkes, Miller, and Zoerlein nearly all up into the wall, but they all kept it straight. We're still green. That was a close call, as now the battle is on for second. Patrick Zych to the inside of Ashlyn Boyd. 4 wide again. That's Derek Hamill down on the bottom. First time today we've really talked about Ryan Butcher up at the front. He's in position here now. I think there might be some damage on the hood of that 18 of Philip Goldberg. He might have been involved in something earlier, but apparently that car is still aerodynamically sound and up to speed, as to the front goes Patrick Zych in the 0-4. J.J. Roberts looked really tight off that corner. Got about maybe 10, 11, 12 cars up in this lead pack, all with a shot of winning. And we have 3 laps to go. Now Roberts with a big run out of turn 2. Back to the left rear quarter panel, looking to take the top spot back once again. Patrick Zych comes into this race currently 5th overall in the point standings. Roberts 16th. And here comes 2-time winner Ryan Butcher, but he gets shuffled out of line by Andrew Miller. They're going to go 3 wide for second place, make it 4 wide for second as Zoerlein will peak even lower. 2 laps to go. They just got to make it back to the line one more time and we'll race back to the checkers no matter what. They cannot wreck on this lap or else the race will end under yellow. Ooh, close there as they're 4 wide down the back straightaway. Roberts continues to hold the top spot. Who's going to step out here in this group? Oh, look out. I don't like how close Andrew Miller and Ryan Butcher are to each other. Little contact perhaps. Look at this, 4 wide. Zoerlein gets to the inside of Roberts. Oh, I thought Gardner was going to make it 4 wide as they just took the white flag. We're racing back to the checkers no matter what. Here comes Gardner with a run. Help from Ashland Boyd in the 54. But what can they do down the back straightaway? That's the question. Zoerlein, can he on the outside line clear Gardner? No, he can't. Gardner's still there. He blocks the bottom. Here comes Ashland Boyd looking for the lead, maybe the win. We're going to have a drag race to the stripe. Hamill steps out of line. It's Gardner, Boyd, Hamill to the stripe. I think Boyd got it. Ashland Boyd, our Zenjoltis winner, I believe got it at the line over Gardner. Officially, that is the case. Ashland Boyd's a 2-time winner. The win at Zenjoltis a few weeks ago, Ashland Boyd came into that race the points leader. The win locked himself up a spot in the playoffs. And with the departure of Brady Burkhart earlier on in this race, it was guaranteed the other 7 drivers were going to be moving on to the next round. But they all still wanted to find victory lane for a second and for some of them a third time. Ashland Boyd successful here today in a photo finish with Johnny Gardner and Derek Hamill, unofficially 1/100th. We're going to have to wait and see what the actual official interval was. And I want to just go back and look at that. See if we can get a better camera angle of the finish. Oh, there we go. This will give us a great idea of just how close that was. Look at that. Look at that. What a finish here at Blue Ridge. And Ashland Boyd gets his second win, just barely denying Johnny Gardner his first win of the season, as the standings, I believe, would be official at this point. 6 1/1000ths. That could maybe be the closest finish we've had this season. I'm trying to remember what the gap was with the photo finish that we had back at Dragonette when Nathan Ormond took the checkered flag. I don't off the top of my head remember what the interval was there. Actually, I don't know if Score 4 does the thousandths of a second or not. I don't think it does. Yeah, according to that, it's just telling me 1/100th, so I don't really know what the official result was. And yeah, it's not telling me there. I don't know if maybe... I don't know if it would tell me in the statistics or not. I doubt it. Closest margin, yeah, Dragonette's giving me only 1/100th. So I don't really know. I would have to look back at the other race. But regardless, this could be at least be a potential candidate for closest finish of the season. And boy, what a finish it was. So Ashland Boyd, we know, is obviously moving on to the next round of the playoffs anyway, but is going to be heading in there as a 2-time winner. Johnny Gardner is going to have to settle for second, so close as Derek Hamill was third. Cucalon in fourth. Zoerlein will finish fifth. Then it was LaPlante, Fowlkes, Roberts, Goldberg, and Andrew Miller bringing it home in the top 10. And we know for certain that it will be the cars of Jessica Shelton, Ryan Butcher, Trent Dunham, Ashland Boyd, Sebastian Cucalon, Vance Caldwell, and Jose Millz, who will all move on to the next round of the playoffs here for Division 1. First eliminatee is the 00 2-time winner, Brady Burkhart. As you look on down here through the rest of the finishing results, you had some of your playoff contenders finish out of the race. Vance Caldwell and Jose Millz, but the fortunate thing for them was Brady Burkhart was out of the race before them in 30th place, and as a consequence will not be in the hunt any further for this championship. And we ended up having from 23rd on down finish out of the race after a result of 3 big wrecks that took place in 3 cautions here today. 7 move on, 1 goes home. Who will be the next one eliminated next week? We'll find that out after this weekend is completed, because up next, tomorrow night, it is the Division 2 drivers here in their first playoff race from Blue Ridge. Hope you guys enjoyed this race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown you full finish results. These are the overall point standings and your updated playoff points heading into next week, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.